Climate change has been a challenging thing for Earth for a while now. Didn't really notice it until probably 2020, in my perspective. The heat wave that happened, and then there was floods like in Abbotsford and Chilliwack.
There's so much more happening all around the world.
We're having more heavy windstorms, rough weather, high tides. It's a real thing, and it's here. It's not coming around the corner.
Our elders always said to us that if you disturb one thing, if you wipe out one thing, it affects the whole chain. It's prominent in our lives, we can see it.
I know more and more people, if they can come to be thinking about climate, then maybe we can make more changes.
Uchucklesaht is one of the smallest nations of the 14 nations in Nuu-chah-nulth Tribe. I think we have 335-ish citizens. We've more than doubled since we've achieved treaty.
It's my personal paradise. I can't complain much of being home. It's one of the most beautiful places that you can be in. I'm so incredibly proud to be a Uchucklesaht.
I've coined one of the phrases that in the future we're going to be the little tribe that did. We've got a lot going on in this tribe.
It is illogical for us to think that climate change doesn't affect us and it doesn't affect our environment, because one small step in what we do can have such drastic impacts on everything else.
We're at a tipping point in the world. We can't continue on this trajectory. We're seeing the consequences.
When I was younger, I spent, my whole life in the bush and biking and stuff, and there's definitely been a difference in weather patterns and stuff that I've noticed over the years.
There used to be lots of fish here. They used to say you could pretty well walk across the water on the fish. That's how amazing it was. There isn't as much salmon as there was once before. A lot of the damage was caused by the logging and forestry.
Salmon are disappearing, and everything is disappearing, and how do we bring it back? It's a huge question, and it's something we have to work on.
The health of the forests and cedar is so greatly connected in with the health of the salmon runs, simply because when our flying cousins go out and hunt and the eagles, then they go out and they get their fish, they go back into the forests, and that's where they eat their food. And so the bases of the trees will have all of the decay and the quechnin that the eagles are leaving after eating. And so as the rains come and feed the forest again, it'll all filter down through back into the ocean. So if we're not sustaining that health of those runs, we're causing huge gaps.
It's kind of scary. It's like, what world are we creating to leave to our children, grandchildren? Awareness is the key to change. Yeah, we need to take action on these issues, but if you're not even aware of it to begin with, you're not going to change. Anything in life, starts with awareness.
What is climate action planning? Why does climate change happen? And how is it going to affect Uchucklesaht, and how do we adapt to it? Uchucklesaht hasn't had a climate action plan before. The climate action plan is something that we're putting together as a staff within the Lands and Resources Department, but with a whole bunch of input from expert consultants that we have working on a few different scopes of work. We have a working group of citizens that's come together about once a month to meet with us and provide perspectives and just input on the whole planning process. And we're also doing community events aimed at providing information and seeking feedback from citizens on various aspects of climate change and what they'd like to see in the plan. One of the things that we'll do as part of the Climate Action Plan is develop a vision statement for Uchucklesaht that we can refer back to whenever we're making decisions and say, is this in line with our climate change vision?
We want this to be from the ground up, led by you folks here in this room, because that's where the knowledge is.
So we have a climate change vulnerability study that's looking at impacts to the land and water and ecosystems, and as well as infrastructure. And then we have other consultants that are looking at all of our buildings and the energy use that they have and retrofit options for them. And we're doing feasibility studies on clean energy supply options as well.
Chris and I are excited to share with you some of our initial work that we've done over the last few months, calculating where Uchucklesaht's climate change causing emissions come from, and what are some of the interesting projects we might be able to do to reduce those. We asked people to list what are the top 3 species that they'd like us to focus on in our initial assessment. And the top 2 thick responses that we've gotten by far so far has been salmon and cedar.
Thanks for joining us, Cooper.
It's our privilege and our responsibility. We've been given a blessing and a job of caretakers of our Creator's creation. You are one of His finest and cherished creations. This is who you are.
The reality is that in our lifetime, we're going to continue to experience climate change and climate change impacts. But basically, the sooner we begin to implement climate adaptation or preparing for these impacts, the better off we're going to be. We know fundamentally that as a people, change can really be met with resilience. And that's something that I've been taught a lot by my community members is we've already done this. It's already been hard for us, and we can really meet these challenges now.
Getting the kids involved so that they value the natural world.
Encourage them, try and help them to be more involved.
Patrolling the territory.
More stewards.
Yeah, exactly.
When we think about how to address climate change and make that problem go away, one of the ways to do that is to figure out where is the problem coming from, where are all these emissions coming from, and then, can we reduce them? 70% of the emissions that are associated with Uchucklesaht is diesel that's being burned in the village of Ethletis for electricity.
So our weakest link right now is using diesel generation. Our atmosphere is not going to get healthy if we continue to use diesel generation. Polluting with diesel fumes isn't respect for our surroundings. ESOC is respect for everything. We need to have respect for our environment. Uchucklesaht means everything is one, everything is connected. Undertook, that's a third fundamental principle, which means to take care of. It means to put in place measures, policies, to ensure you do the right thing at the right time when you see something going towards destruction of our environment.
In the village here is the source of all of the electricity that we use in Ethletis. It's a diesel generation station that's operated by BC Hydro. We have fuel delivered to the village via barge about once a month. That's where the vast majority of our electricity comes from. We're reliant completely on diesel, and burning diesel is a contributor to climate change.
We need to move towards green energy, whether it's wind power, solar power, as opposed to burning diesel or gas.
We're advancing some clean energy projects here in the village, including a solar project that we have on the Community Wellness Center, and we have rooftop solar on the building. We have batteries that are used to store the solar energy and that also store energy that can be used in the case of an outage or if our diesel station goes down. We are also looking at the supply side, so generating clean energy in the village. Solar energy projects, or looking at hydropower as well as more major sources of energy that can replace diesel diesel and ultimately get us completely off of diesel in the community.
Big projects that the nation and the tribe is focusing on would be the power changings. We are in the processes of hoping to change over to hydropower, which will be huge.
We were taught we had no future when I was in residential school, so I never looked forward. I didn't have an idea of what it was like to look to the future. I'm thinking about it now, and I can't concentrate on me. I have to try and make sure my children understand that there is a future, and they need to do something about it.
Nature is our source. So we need to get back to that, and we need to protect it, and we need to start being more engaged.
We as Indigenous peoples, we're here for a reason. We were gifted that responsibility of stewardship by Creator. We were put in the places that we will thrive, where we will allow the land to thrive along with us.
If we can all come together, we could make a difference in this beautiful Mother Earth that we live in, you know. I feel this is the best place to be, and we can have changes, you know.
We're past the point of no return unless everybody does something drastic to reduce emissions, pollution. I just want our people in our community and our government to believe in climate change, take action, make decisions, and implement those decisions.
The Uchucklesaht Tribe acknowledges that climate change requires us to take action now and forever.
To live Tsamapi in balance through generations.
We will meet this challenge by restoring Uchucklesaht's inherent responsibility
As caretakers of the living and spiritual world of the Hahuthi, which is our traditional territory.
The wisdom of our ancestors will guide us,
The teaching of our elders will strengthen us.
and the actions of our youth will carry us.
As we work together to heal the land
Reduce our emissions,
and protect against impacts,
we will continue to honor our sacred principles.
Hishuk Ishatsawak, everything is one,
Isak, utmost respect.
and Uarthak, to take care of,
Our way of life holds the path to successful climate action
and resilience.